how much design is today important for our business and how much design is important for designers. How many designers do we have here today? Raise your hand. Well, we have some. Okay, welcome to the tribe. We are going to have some fun. So I don't want to use the slides, or I will use the slide just as a background. I want to talk to you about design. We are really living exciting times. You have just heard about this incredible mattress, and I was just thinking about a side business. You know, your mattress has entered the love mode, but your wife is away, so there's something wrong. You can, you know, you can introduce some services aside from that. So why design is so important today? I have two children. One is 10 years old, one is 12. And when they were younger and they were asked, what's your father's job? Their answer was, he's doing beautiful drawings. Okay. This was his perception of design. What I see in design is design goal is to solve problems. Is to make people life better, and is to reach business goals at the end of the day. This is what the design is doing the right thing for the user and for the company. And this is why I always say to our clients, you know, our job as designer is to find the right balance between the user experience that you are delivering to your clients and the need to reach your business goal. And we can help you find you this balance. It's not just sketching or whatever. You know, it's design. Keep away the sketching name is just a byproduct. You know, we do that kind of stuff. But the important thing is that the design is helping solving business problems without torturing your users. It's making them happy, delivering the best product and services, and reaching business goals. So, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever seen a company profile that sucks? No, I'm sure. So, we are good, we are great, a lot of people, talents, blah, blah, blah. Let's move. Design is important in terms of methodology. How do you reach those business goals, and how do you end up delivering great user experience? So the first thing that we usually say to our clients, you know, we are not using a magic wand. We don't know how we can solve your problems. Let's first start talking about the problem itself. Let us understand the problems you are facing. We have so many tools and so many things we can do with design. We can find our way. And we have our own methodology. You know, I've been in the design world, I think, for the last 20 years, before it was cool, I will say. And I have a confession to make. I was born as an engineer. You know, that kind of people that have this social disease where they can't have any relationship and like to tear things apart. And then I ended up in design 20 years ago for a mobile telco operator, which was definitely interesting. So we can define experience, we can evolve organization, and this is critical. And we can help driving the next to be. This is important, it's extremely important. When we talk about design, you know, there are so many forms of design, visual design, interaction design, experience design, service design, whatever you can, you know, every word you can attach to design. What we think is important is systemic design. Design is no more at the border of the empire. It's now core in the company values. It's what drives company reach their business goals. So we are no more asked to design a website or an application. We are designing ecosystems of different touch points, physical and digital. And this is why we say we are designing experiences. It's no more of a single touch point. I think, you know, you told me there are some designers here. Every time I hear one of my clients saying, I wanted to redesign a beautiful website, I think a designer dies, because it's not about being beautiful. It's about being efficient. It's about solving a problem. So it's different. We need to think about systemic design. And we start using Agile in our own company 8 years ago. And this is the very same methodology that we use with our clients. We split our programs in 4 different pieces. The first one is called challenge, and it is the most important for us. Why challenge? Because when we face a client, the first thing that we ask him, are you sure you really want to do this? What are you trying to reach? What are your goals? Is this really the right way? Which is a sort of strong statement, because the usual approach, you know what, I'm the client, I'm paying you, you do what I ask. No, not really. Well, at least not for us. As I always say to my team, look, guys, our goal, is there any shareholder of Sketchin in the room? No, okay. Our goal is not making money. Money is a byproduct of design. The real goal of design is solving problems. Then money comes, but it is a byproduct. When we usually run a deep phase of research with users, we want to really know from a qualitative standpoint how they behave, and then we use quantitative data to validate our assumption in the qualitative part. When we go to design, which is not really the design of the artifact, it's the design of the design strategy. How can we use design tools to define a strategy that will solve your business problems? And only at the end, in what we call evolve the experience, we start really designing the artifacts. A website, a physical store, an application, or whatever it is, a new product or service. So the real design of what the beautiful drawings are only coming at the end of a thought. So just to give you an idea of what we have done and why, you end up talking with a private bank. We can talk about the case, but we cannot say the name, which is funny, but anyway. You will understand probably from the colors who they are. They are Italian. They came to us and say, well, we are a private bank, we are selling investment products, and we have been asked to triple our revenues in capital in the next 5 years without changing the number of people we have. Interesting challenge. So you have many ways you can solve the problems. You can use a gun, go into your clients, point the gun to the client and say, sign the contract. Not really fair, doesn't work. So what we did is, let's see from a systemic point of view how you are working with your clients. Let's try to use data. There is another important point that we need to make, technology. Technology is becoming extremely relevant to designers. You have to understand technology and how to use technology and big data to influence your design decision. This is important. So we did a lot of research trying to understand how the relationship between the private banker and the client was happening. And we clustered all of these finance managers, understanding which kind of methodologies they were using while talking with the clients. There was the guy who was much more a relationship guy. There was the more technical one, and we ended up with 5 different personas of clusters of people. And we designed around that. And actually, at the end of the day, in every company, there are people that are performing better than others. And so what we said is, why don't we use that data to make all the people smarter? So we aggregated all the data in a big data lake. And what we used to say to them, okay, let's keep an ecosystem, an integrated ecosystem of touch points that can help them drive their sales. But let's use data to give them suggestion and to train them on what is the best option for their clients. So you can see this very well, but basically those graphs is taking big data, and given the type of client that you are talking with, this is how the best private banker is working on similar clients. These are the products that he is selling. This is what all your financial promoters base is doing, and this is what you are doing, so you can compare. Learn from the best. But you are given the freedom to decide on your own. And as you see these slides, you see there is a consistent design language, because we wanted to give them the feeling that they were always home. Every touch point is designed in using the very same design language. And actually, they are reaching the business goals. And it is always human-centered. And you need to think one important thing. And actually, the example from Vodafone is important, because when you design, keeping in mind what are the end users' experiences, you also design for the internal user experience. They're working in a different way. Why? Because we are facing different problems in terms of customer base. So I always say you design 2 customer experience, one external, which relates to the end user, and one internal that enables you to keep the promise to the end user. If you don't change internally, it's very difficult to keep the promise you made to the end user. That's extremely important. Oh, here it is. It's in Italian. How would invest all your network? How would invest the best? So, and using technology to power design, you know, you have that data. Why don't you use it? And basically, now they have 340 people using this set of tools. And the very important thing that we found in research was, I call this the ivory tower syndrome. Every marketing manager would say, I know my customer base, I know everything. That's not always the truth. When you start doing real research and geographic research, you find different things. And sometimes you don't want to hear that truth. But what we found is that the bank was sure to give them the best tools available, but we found they were using a number of self-created tools. WhatsApp as a means of communication between them instead of a company chat. So you find interesting things when you do research. Another thing that I would like to talk to you in numbers, what is nice about the work we do now is that we can always talk about business results, so it's not just beautiful drawings. So, and the methodology we use and the design, the agile design methodology helps us to be very fast in our project. So 36 weeks for that kind of project was really, really fast. Another interesting client is Solvay. They are Russian. I don't know if many of you have worked with Russia. They are not easy people. They never smile. And you never know if they are going to kill you in the next half an hour or if they are going to take you out for dinner. But this is the way they have these, you know, blue eyes, I call them. But anyway, Solvay, it's a bank, and they were thinking about selling this new product, a new credit card with a different concept in mind. Why it's different? Because they want to take out all the charges for the client. Every purchase you make is split along different months, and you choose in how many months you want to split the payment back. And they needed a logo and a brand system. So again, we started. Okay, you want to launch a new card. We went through, I think we have this number, but anyway, it was the future of the shopping experience. We did a huge user research in Russia about what they were expecting from a credit card and from that kind of service. And actually, we ended up with the very same ideas that Vodafone came up. It must be easy. You know, you have to sign up for the credit card in 2 minutes. It seems that the 2 minutes is becoming a mantra in mobile design, right? Isn't it? It's funny. And we designed a communication logo, a communication system for them, which is all consistent between mobile and a fixed website. So internal communication code, the way you communicate is extremely important, a new competitive identity, and a clear and easy experience. And you know, easy is what makes the difference. And we build around the user experience. Again, that's always the big point. They always think at the end user, but at the very same time, you have to think about the goals that you want to reach. And the balance is always possible. There is always a balance that you can reach, and this is the work of a designer. I think that every company that makes design has this specific goal, find the balance. But there is one big risk, and it is the ego of a designer. We tend to over-design, and we tend to design something that is not really feasible, because we really care about the design. So there is a limit that you should not, you know, you should take care of that limit. Design for reality. There are spaces where you can design just to do exercises and, you know, win prizes. It's not the real market. The real market requires to design for reality. Reality means technology limitations, market limitations, regulatory limitations. You need to be aware of those limitations. And this is why design is not anymore just design. It's design, it's business market understanding, it's industry understanding, regulatory technology. If you don't have these things clear in mind, you will fail. You will do beautiful drawings. I'm done. I have been even 15 minutes. Now, what is really important is that there is always hard work. You know, Russians are fun people. Usually they have they like naive design for 30 names and design before they approved the final one. If you look at the business cards world in Russia, you will find really fancy design, and this is compromise. 98 steps in the Solve the app, 12 sections, 2 touch points, and it was another important thing to close. Always design with your clients on the side. Don't take a brief, disappear for 2 months, and then here's the magic. It's co-design that solves problems. And this is the end of a message that I wanted to give you, and you have been very kind, so thank you very much.